So for a very brief moment, weather-wise, actually felt like December in Denver, just for what, a little touch of a day. Yeah. But now there's another warm-up on the way. Meteorologist Jaden Knowles is along with the forecast, and I feel like everybody had fingers crossed for snow, and then we got that dusting, and we're like, well, may we have another.
Maybe we all got to just come together and just hope some more, and maybe that will do it, because there were so many people asking for snow on Christmas, and yeah, it came 3 days after that. So, I mean, I hope a lot of people are happy about that. But overall, good evening to everyone out there. You can see a clear night, and that's exactly what we're going to see, especially as we head into your Tuesday. Just a little bit warmer temperatures, but then the big warm-up comes as we head into Wednesday as well as Thursday. The low 60s quickly return. Satellite and radar, nice and quiet, nice and dry, no precipitation. All the precipitation is towards the East Coast. You can see it just dumping lots of snow towards New York, Boston, and moving out of Chicago. Current temperatures, it will be a chilly night. We're talking about the low 20s, 25 degrees currently in Central Park, 23 over in Centennial. You can see over towards the Eastern Plains, you're seeing the teens as well as the low 20s, single digits across the high country. Here's your forecast as we head into the rest of the night. As I mentioned in my forecast, I have the low 20s for overnight lows, but then the big warm-up is coming. That's the big weather story for this week, and maybe even some mountain snow. We'll have more details about that later in the show.
The number of people overdosing and dying in Denver is up compared to last year.
9 News reporter Rachel Krause joins us from Denver, and Rachel, advocates say something needs to change.
Yeah, nearly 500 people have died in Denver from an overdose so far this year, and that number is only expected to climb. Those on the front lines say they want to see action.
Yeah, it's a lot. And you kind of get numb to it a little bit because you see it so much.
Numb. After another year of hundreds of people dying of overdoses, those on the front lines are worn out. Dr. Sterling McLaren never gets a break.
I think it's a big concern. It's a big problem. It hasn't gone away.
As Denver's interim chief medical examiner, Sterling saw Denver through its deadliest year for overdose deaths in 2023. 2024 brought respite when overdose and fentanyl deaths dropped sharply, but this year, that good news faded fast.
March this year was the worst month we had, I think, on record.
We have recently found out that there were 61 overdose deaths just in March this year, which was a huge increase. That was more than 2 a day.
Lisa Ravel runs the Harm Reduction Action Center. She says people are dying publicly, overdosing in parks, alleys, and bathrooms in businesses. So far this year, the medical examiner's office reports nearly 500 people have died of an overdose in Denver. 328 of those involved fentanyl, putting 2025 the second deadliest year for Denver overdoses, even with data lagging months behind.
Waiting 12 to 18 weeks to see what was happening 12 to 18 weeks ago is not sustainable. We need real action items for today. For example, we need robust on-site drug checking. There are 2 drug checking machines that are sitting in boxes in a city and county building underneath someone's desk.
The Denver Department of Public Health and Environment says they did buy drug testing over the summer, but they're still getting the people and training they need to use it. Marion Rourke, the city's access to care manager, says more help is needed.
It's really, really hard day after day after day for folks to learn about folks who have passed and to think, did we have some other opportunities to support them? What could we be doing different, right? So it's gut-wrenching.
As more people die daily from drug overdose, Ravel believes it's past time to try something new to turn around this deadly trend.
We've been asking for this. We've been pleading for this. People are dying. They're dying publicly. It doesn't have to be like this. We can be trying things that do something different.
The Denver Medical Examiner's Office is often when people are overdosing, they have more than one substance in their system. Fentanyl, yes, but often methamphetamine too. And they're seeing fentanyl showing up less and less in the pill form that we've gotten used to, and much more often in a powdery form. That's concerning, of course, because that can look like a lot of other substances. And while it can't work for everything, having naloxone on hand can make a big difference because it can save a life if somebody is overdosing on an opioid like fentanyl. Reporting live in Denver, Rachel Krause, 9 News.
Telluride Ski Resort and the union that represents its ski patrollers will not be getting taxpayer money to bridge the gap in their contract negotiations. The towns of Telluride and Mountain Village, along with San Miguel County, said that today. The resort has been closed since Saturday. That's when the strike started. Ski patrollers are pushing for higher pay, arguing they can't afford to live where they work. The resort says the union is demanding too much money. Leaders in Telluride, Mountain Village, and San Miguel County say they considered the possibility of using taxpayer money to help end that strike, but after a consultation, they found out that wasn't allowed. They say the resort and the union weren't interested anyway.
Federal regulators are recalling ground beef in 6 states, including Colorado.
It's because of a possible E. coli contamination. 9 News reporter Janelle Finch is here with the details about the testing process.
More than 2,800 pounds of ground beef from a Montana-based Forward Farms had to be pulled. Some of that meat made it to Colorado. The industry is now trying to reassure people. Nobody likes surprises when it comes to food. The Colorado Beef Council makes sure consumers know exactly what they're putting in their bodies.
And I sit in a role that represents the packers and processors.
John Skanga is the council chairman. He says testing meats for dangerous bacteria plays a major part in getting a product to market.
Physical removal, they could be things like hot water washing, spraying with like a vinegar solution or a weak acid solution.
But even with the multi-stage process, he says pathogens can hide.
I can take a sample and I can test it and it can be negative. But that doesn't give me 100% confidence that the pathogen is not there.
Idaho-based Mountain West Food Group, LLC, had to recall 2,800 pounds of ground beef because the federal government found E. coli in a sample. The Food Safety and Inspection Service says the meat was produced December 16th from Forward Farms and distributed to stores in Colorado and 5 other states. Skanga says the food group will likely need to make a correction to its HACCP plan.
HACCP. That stands for Hazard Analysis Critical Control Points.
He says all processing plants are legally required to have it.
And as part of that, they have to have control measures in place to reduce or eliminate the presence of Shiga toxin producing E. coli.
Skanga says discovering E. coli after distribution is very rare.
Our beef producers, our beef packers, our beef industry does a phenomenal job putting a safe, wholesome, nutritious product out to consumers.
So far, no confirmed illnesses have been connected to the recall. I reached out to both Mountain West Food Group and Forward Farms. I asked how many packages made it to Colorado or who their retail partners are, but no one got back to me. The federal government says if you have ground beef from Forward Farms with EST 2083 printed on the side, throw it out or take it back to the store. Janelle Finch, 9 News.